Hey, thank you so much for joining us today on Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We're so happy to have you in, as Breezy says, the place to be, right?
That's right, in the place to be. You know, that comes way, way back, old school, but it's still new school, so we're right here.
That's what's up. So we got a great show lined up for you. We're really excited. We've got Gutta jumping in for an interview, and we're really happy to rock it.
It's a great thing. It's a great day in the neighborhood, but the beats that you hear in the background on our show every week were produced solely by Achickwitbeatz. So reach out to her at Achickwitbeatz.com, and you can make a big come up, listen to the variety of beats that she's got for sale from all kinds of genres, and check her out right there at Achickwitbeatz.com.
Thank you. So here we go. we have the multi-talented, super dynamic MC Gutta with us in the building today. How you feeling?
I'm good. I appreciate y'all having me. What's going on?
No doubt. So just in case the listeners may not remember, depending on how long you've been rocking with us, but originally when we launched Music Marvels, Gutta was a guest, and so we're very happy to have him back with us. But just for the listeners who may not be familiar with you, why don't you give them a little bit of background on what you do and who Gutta is?
Oh, man. I mean, I don't think there's enough time for that, but pretty much this day and age, I'm a man. You know, I got real issues that I deal with. I lost my wife unexpectedly in 2017. Right now I have a foster daughter that I had since she was 10 days old. She's about to be 5 now in October. I'm in a custody battle. Trying to get full custody of her, but right now I have temporary custody. And just, you know, just really in that kingship. And when I say that, it's like, you know, I got a lot of people depending on me. So I have to really think about the moves that I make and how I make them, because what I do affects a lot of people that's dependent on me. So yeah, and really the music is the stress reliever. You know, after the fight, it's like the music is what kind of just cleanses me of all the stress and the BS, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, Gutta is really just he's that passionate artist. You know what I'm saying? I do it for the love. I do it to express myself, and I do it to communicate to those I care about. You know, whether it's friends, family, loved ones, or just my community.
Man, that's really heavy and impactful. The fact that you've been through so much, but to be able to express yourself artistically and, you know, pour your heart into your music and what you do for other people to enjoy who may be going through a hard time as well. So
right.
Yeah, the possibilities for uplifting other people based off of some of the things that you've been through are just kind of endless, right, Breezy?
Well, you know, I gotta just come right on in. That's the double G, man. Gooder. Get Gutta. He's right with us. And, you know, that's a strong layout right there. Strong layout. So, you know, my hats off to you for sharing. And, you know, right there in the mix, a lot of people hear this, and, you know, so take these golden nuggets that he's sharing already and that he's about to share. So, I mean, I'm glad that you're in the mix.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so, okay, could you give us a little bit of background on, you know, where you're from? Because, you know, typically as artists, it can shape our sound and, you know, influences us so heavily musically.
Yeah, I'm originally from Greenville, South Carolina, little town. Right now I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. But yeah, I'm, you know, from a small city, not a lot that goes on. It's not real country, but, you know, those, that's from the big city would definitely say it's country. The music scene is different. You know, the music scene is different in the South in a way. And, the further south you go, in my opinion, the more, the bigger the scene is and the more you see independent artists kind of rallying together. I'm in the Carolinas. The Carolinas is a hard place to come out of, to really do things, because everybody wants to be that one. Everybody wants to be the first. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of, you know, you can get caught up with a lot of people hating and things like that, and you rarely come across groups of artists that actually look out for each other. It happens. I'm just saying it's rare. You know, for instance, like, you know, the Baby. I remember the Baby when I moved to Charlotte. It was Baby Jesus, and I remember him doing his thing. But like, you know, everybody knew he was doing his thing, but they wasn't really talking about him like that. You know what I'm saying? Other than, oh, look at this dude, he wearing his diaper, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I remember when I got here, and when I was doing part of my grind and stuff like that, I remember just kind of, you know, looking at him and just seeing what he was doing. But he would do shows here and there here, but really all the time he was putting in work in other places. And then of course you see what happened, and then at that point the whole city jumped behind you. And that's kind of how it is in the Carolinas. Like, nobody really jumps behind you until like you hit it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping that could change, but. Yeah, I mean, we still got the same issues that everybody else deals with. I still love my city and rep my city to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? And I guess now my focus is not even necessarily blowing up or something like that, but really I'm trying to reach my people, especially the young people, man. Like, you got it twisted. It's a different ball game right now. Yeah. And it's really time for us to kind of open our eyes and get ourselves together, because we a lot of us tripping right now. And I hate to say it, but I believe like music. I ain't gonna necessarily say hip hop, because hip hop is a culture, but I'm gonna say music, rap music, has a lot to do with what's going on in our community with the youth right now, and it's kind of destructive.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's great that you recognize that and you're actually doing something to counter it. So, a lot of people can say like, okay, well, this is terrible, but they're not doing anything different. Or they're even replicating what you constantly hear in the mainstream. So just kind of add more to the noise, if you will, instead of trying to rise above it. But
it's not easy.
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Pardon My Grind. And, if we could talk about that for a little bit, because that's another thing. So a lot of times you don't hear about artists supporting other artists, but with the network that you built to give people a platform to share their talent it's pretty incredible. Yeah,
Part of My Grind, that came again from just the story I told you, being in the Carolinas, not really getting that support. Not really being able to find people to get behind me to help me do these things without either lying about what they really know or, just charging something that wasn't affordable to me as a starving artist. So that's what kind of prompted Part of My Grind, and that whole movement of just getting dope artists, because again, everybody has music platforms where you can just throw your music in there and and they put it up. A lot of people look at me like I'm crazy, like when these big DJs put out stuff, or, people do events and stuff like that, the first thing I'm gonna ask for one, does it cost to get on there? Which I know it costs to pay to play. That's no problem. But then once they tell me how much it is, I say, so if I pay, I'm in? And if they say yeah, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Because the art again, and it's a lot of trash out there. And if you're telling me all I got to do is pay and you're going to put me on, then that lets me know that you're not even serious about the type of talent that you're putting up. You know what I'm saying? For your show or for your website and stuff like that. And honestly, I don't want to be amongst trash, because if there's a lot of artists that's up there that's trash, whoever's listening may not even get to me. Because they already went somewhere else. So when I did Part of My Grind, me and my team literally sought out dope artists. We literally listened to quality. We literally listen to content, because if you hateful and degrading too, I'm all for it. I'm all about gangster rap. All of that's my era. But with Part of My Grind, I want every artist to put their best foot forward, because say these people over here, they want to do a benefit concert for cancer, but they want to do hip hop. I don't want you to kill yourself because you got some hateful or degrading music over here, and they be like, I like him, but I don't like what he about. So you put your best foot forward. That's the opportunity for you to get a whole new fan base, that rocks with your music. So with Part of My Grind, quality was a big thing. It gotta sound good. If you got videos, it gotta look good, and the content. You know what I'm saying? Like if everything is just selling dope, shoot 'em up. You know what I'm saying? If everything is strip club degrading women, like nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? You gotta and it gotta be clean. And it gotta be clean, because again, we want radio stations and all those things, to look at. On the downside of all that, you know, I learned a lot. I learned that a lot of artists that we was kind of, you know, because I was wanting it to grow. You know, I was already thinking about, you know, getting to Michigan and getting with Achickwitbeatz and, you know, meeting face to face. Because that's gonna happen. It's gonna go down. That's still gonna happen. But that's what I was wanting to do, and developing relationships in these different cities that I had these artists from. Because I mean, like, you know, Achickwitbeatz, you in Michigan. I had a couple artists in Cali, Wisconsin, all these different places. But then I learned a lot of artists I was getting gigs and stuff like that. Like, we couldn't even get a shout out. And it was kind of hurting us because they was getting on, but like, they wasn't saying, yo, I got on because of this. Right. And not only that, you know, one big thing that I realized is that my part of my grind was only strong, you know, as me being the head, which usually is like that. But pretty much what happened when my wife passed away, it knocked me down. All the way down, and I had nobody to keep it going. So eventually it fizzled out. So I've been kind of thinking, like, do I want to bring it back? How will I bring it back now that I can't do, you know, because events ain't really the thing right now with the COVID stuff going on. So I'm like, how can I bring it back? How can I build a strong enough team in order to keep it rolling if something were to happen? Because that was a lesson learned. But I still don't see nobody doing it to that level, because again, you know, I'm a fan of independent work. Like, you know, you can go in my car and easily, you know, look through my files, you know, that I'm playing in my music, and a bunch of independent music in there. You know what I'm saying? I listen to all the part of my grind artists. That's just what I did. And we actively talked about them. It wasn't that, oh, you know, you just get on the site and that's it, and we sell you promo and this and this and that. Like, no, when we was running across people, we were like, well, you know, this event going on here, we got this artist that does this. They would be good for your event. You know, that's how we were. We were actively promoting artists versus a lot of these websites. You got to share the link. But these companies ain't sharing it for you. Like YouTube and SoundCloud and all of them, like, if you don't share the link, they ain't gonna do it for you. That was one of the big differences with part of my grind. But I've been thinking about trying to figure out something different to bring it back out, because I still feel like it's needed. But it's all, you know, you gotta support, you gotta show love, man. Like, if you love the music, you love the art, there's no reason in showing the love to somebody else that do it too.
Ooh, yeah. Breezy, you hear that? You underline it right there. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, you know, taking taking two chains and wrapping each leg up at the knee, going on down. Okay, so then when you start walking out, then they pull the chain and you just boom. Okay, and so what that person has is just brought down into the abyss. But what you're talking about is on the resurrection side of getting over that, coming through that. And see, for our listeners, Gutta's talking on the real. He's been there. He is there. He's out of there. Okay, so these nuggets that he's sharing are true to heart. Okay, so I'm glad that you're here, and I'm just laying back as you continue sharing with what's on your heart.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So, you know, you had mentioned about how challenging it was when your wife passed, and I know you had the recent project Heart on My Sleeve available. Could you tell us a little bit about that, and, you know, also some of your other projects as well?
Yeah, Heart on My Sleeve is my latest LP that's available on all major platforms. That project didn't start out that way. And if you listen to the album, you can kind of hear how the vibe changes. I think when we did this last time, do y'all know when it was? I feel like my wife was still alive, though. I feel like this was a hiatus. I had not too long dropped the hiatus or enough, one of those. And, you know, I did the track with your production hire. So I was working on a project, didn't have a name for it. So in the middle of that, 2017, it's like, boom, my wife passed away. And like, he just knocked the wind out of me. And I sat down for a while. You know, I was battling demons and things like that, and trying to go to therapy and stuff, and nothing was working. And let me see, that was September 5th, which was the anniversary just passed, and then October 6th is our wedding anniversary. So another one of the part of my grind artists, A Major, man, he's like, yo, man, you know, you want to come down here anytime you get in the studio, just the vibes, you know, the doors are open. So on my wedding anniversary, the month after my wife passed, I went down to A Major studio, and, you know, he was just playing beats, and, you know, I was just listening, and he played one beat, and then just tears started rolling. That's that song. The song I got on the album called How I'm Feeling, where I really got to express, like, how I was feeling, because, you know, people ask, how you doing, and you're okay, and, you know, naturally, like, I'm good, you know, but I wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where it started. And then, you know, I started, at the same time, I started doing a memorial of tattoos of my wife on my arm, because, you know, which is a whole other story. Like, she was just more than just my partner, my love, and all them basic things that he could talk about. Like, I was inspired by her. By her, you know, she never worked a regular job. She was an entrepreneur, you know, from the gate. You know what I'm saying? She was just on point with everything in life, and she helped me develop what I say from a boy to a man, that taught me a lot of things, which I'm still blessed with now, which gives me the ability to bless other people with. So in the midst of that, I started doing a sleeve, you know, dedicated to her. And as I'm doing these songs, I know if it was relieving the stress that the therapist could not relieve. And I noticed, like, this is it. This is what got me here in the first place. This is what got me in the music in the first place. When you know, in the hood and all these different things going on, and like, it was either the streets, you know, or that. You know, I played sports too, but like, when you in it, it's like either the streets or this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, selling dope wasn't for me. I tried it, it just wasn't for me. But when you rap, you still kind of got the same respect that you was good to a certain extent. You was broke, but like, there you go, so-and-so, you know, spit something, blah, blah, blah. Then you start handing out tapes, which is what it was back then. Everybody was on it. So I realized, like, this is what I needed. And then that's when I started doing the project Heart on My Sleeve, and just tapping into all my emotions and letting it out, all the dark places I went through. And then, you know, at the same time, you know, just some of the, because when you're going through grief, man, you go through different levels of just emotion. You know what I'm saying? You're going like, I don't care feelings, and, you know, just different things. So I just put all that out in that particular project. And if you listen to it, you can hear where it starts out with higher and go through hiatus and all that. And that's when she was still alive, you know. And then boom, it goes to How I'm Feeling. And then the vibe starts to change at that point. You know, then you go to Pain and, you know, all those different songs. And like, So Long, where I pretty much give a quick summary of my life, you know, till my wife passed. Then it goes through all that. So, yeah, Heart on My Sleeve, I would say, is the best project I've ever done, because I literally poured my heart. It was literally tears, a lot of tears and pain in that project. And a lot of times now, you know, I can't even listen to it. You know what I'm saying? I skip around on it. You know what I mean? Because I was in that energy. I was really in a place. But you can, you know, and the album goes to where I come out that place with the, you know, with Live, you know what I'm saying? It's like I go and then I come out of it, because I realized, like, you know, after having all those suicidal thoughts and all those different things, I had to live for one, my daughter that I'm trying to get custody of, my foster daughter, and I had to live for my wife, because that's what she would want me to do. So yeah.
Man, I salute you. Your bravery and pushing through, and even, you know, just sharing your story with us and the listeners right now. Like I said before, like by you sharing everything that you've been through and how you coped with it is definitely helping somebody else right now.
Yeah, I hope so. If anybody that's dealing with, you know, the loss of a loved one, whether it's a spouse or whatever, you can definitely go check out my tribe. We got a podcast, a vlog called Young Black and Widow. You can look it up on Facebook, Young Black and Widow, and on YouTube. the coronavirus slowed us down a little bit, but we about to start picking back up. But even what we got there now is like real powerful, you know, for those that's dealing with grief. And a lot of the things that we're dealing with, it helped me out a lot too, just being around other people that dealt with the same thing.
Man, yeah, that's awesome that you help, you know, with a network like that. And, you know, as we get closer, before we actually close things out, I know Breezy's got some questions he's burning to ask you. But if you could let people know where to follow you and what you've got in the works, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, you know, you can always Google Get Gutta. That's Getgutta. But you can find me on Instagram at the official Get Gutta. The same thing on Facebook. And of course, my website, www.getgutta.com. Working on a new project right now. Not sure of the name. At first, it was going to be Head Out the Clouds, pretty much showing me coming out the fog that I was in with the passing of my wife. Right now, this project is just different. A lot of different types of music, but still that Get Gutta that's going to give you something, that's going to tell you something, that's, you know, that's going to try to teach you something. But I'm really trying to show off my versatility, my writing skills. Got a lot of dope features, for some artists on some different things. The single I'm working on right now that's going to be dropping soon, don't have a date yet, it's called Suffocation. I've pretty much been quiet through this whole pandemic situation and everything that's been going on, because I got mixed emotions about everything that's been going on with the pandemic, with, you know, more of the cop killings, the racist stuff that's going on. So I've been quiet, and then again, you know, music, this Suffocation is kind of bringing that out. So you can definitely check for that single to be dropping, single and music video. Shout out to Crucifix Productions. That's going to be coming out soon. But yeah, just working on some different stuff. The other singles are out there. Thanos, you know, I'm a big Avengers fan, and we got the Thanos out there. A lot of people, you know, want to reference, you know, kingpins and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I'm bigger than all that. Like, I'm something out of this galaxy. So I got the Thanos track out there. I got I'm the Rapper, which is really like me mocking the rappers of the day. That's what, you know, if you see the cover, you can kind of see that. And ground up some other tracks that's out there. So again, you look for me on everything. You'll find me. Pandora Station is Get Gutta, Spotify. It's all out there. So yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited about what you're working on. And by the way, I should have told you. I don't know if I did, but the Thanos, man, that slaps. That's one of my favorite songs.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Well, hey, can you share with our listeners what is 1 week like in your life? You know, let's just say from when you go to bed Sunday night, or you may be up all night in the studio, I don't know. But let's start off with Monday morning. Okay, and give our listeners a snapshot of what happens in the life of Get Gutta each week from Monday morning all the way through Saturday night. What's that like?
Man, to be honest, it's like some real grown man stuff. The majority of my time is daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just called me a few minutes ago. The majority of my time is like daddy. I dedicated my life to my foster daughter, her well-being and her safety. So, you know, that's pretty much what it is most of the day. In between that time, you know, I'm picking up my phone and I'm jotting lyrics, or I got my headphones on listening to some beats that a producer sent me. And then, you know, I'm thinking of a master plan. I mean, that's really what it is. I got a hair salon that I'm still running that my wife had, you know, trying to think of other businesses. I got real estate that I rent. So I'm always thinking of a master plan in order to generate more income. And another way to try to reach the youth with my music in creative ways, because honestly, you know, I gotta give them. It's like when you was little and, you know, your grandma would put the medicine in your food. You know what I'm saying? I gotta hide it to make them take it. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta give them music that sound like what they listening to, and then it's really giving them some medicine. So I try to think of different ways to do that when I'm listening to production, and then I'm writing. I'm trying to, let me give it to them how it sounds. I haven't been able to, I can't master that whole melodic thing yet, but I'm trying to work on it. But at the end of the day, daddy is most of my time, man, looking out for my mom and my family and people that surround me. And then in between that, really, is like the music. So the music doesn't have as much as a role in my life that it did before, because I'm really on some bigger things. And until the music kind of gives me the support that I need financially, then I can start giving it more time in my life. But right now, until that happens, I'm always gonna write. I'm always gonna do it because it's a part of me. But my main focus is on this little girl, man, and making sure she has the best life. And she knows my voice when she hears me. She knows I got a song for her that I ain't put out yet. Well, it's actually on the album. I'm a Fighter. I ain't put the video out yet. Just due to legal reasons, you know what I'm saying? But I love to hear her saying the lyrics to it. So, really, man, just family and life is what I'm about, during the week. And, just cause music is a part of me, I squeeze that in, throughout the day, each day, just because it's a part of me like that.
That's beautiful.
Right. I mean, that's real talk. Get Gutta. And, I feel like, the folks have been fed by, what came out of your head just now. And, which is a good thing. Okay. And so, we'd like to thank you for sharing, teaching, educating, and more or less, caring, because the words that you brought forth, have a high level of care. And so, there's folks out there that are in the mix and they really don't care or don't give a darn. Okay? But, what you're sharing is the complete opposite. So that's a really
It makes a difference. You know what I'm saying? Love conquers all. Period. You know what I'm saying? Even if you put it in your music. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing it for the love, you're gonna reap the benefits of it. It may not always be financially, but I got people that rock with me just because they know what I'm about, and they know what I'm about because I don't front in my music. I don't wanna make it seem like I'm something other than what it is. I'm a grown man that's that's providing for my family, will protect my family. But I'm out of that realm. I have no need to try to prove that I'm a gangster and all this and that. Only thing I can say is I got a lot to lose and I'm scared to die. So if you try me, you understand that. Like, the last thing I want to do is leave this earth. So I'm gonna try everything not to.
Yeah, that's fact, man.
But it's all love, man. And just for my artists that's listening, I just want to put out there, like, as far as the current state of our young community, like this trap music, all this stuff is great, but it's like we pushing this murder on each other so hard. We pushing, flexing these guns and stuff so hard, it's destroying us. And it's like, if you can't keep the same energy when you bounce into the track and they waving the pistol in the air when they done shot your homeboy dead, then it's lame. Because I done had homies die. So if you can't keep that same crunk energy when you listening and dancing to the music that's promoting it, when your homeboy or your homegirl gets killed, it's lame. If you can't keep the same energy that you do when you tear up the city because a cop killed one of ours, versus somebody down the street done killed, one of your own, killed your own for nothing, is lame. I mean, that's just the facts. Like, we got to keep that same energy all the way around. It's genocide amongst our people, and unfortunately, we're participating in our own genocide as well.
Man, yeah, you said a mouthful right there. That's so important. I'm glad that you shared, and again, we just thank you for coming on and sharing all the knowledge and information and wisdom, those gems that you drop. We appreciate it. We know the listeners do. So, and make sure that you go follow Get Gutta everywhere he told you. make sure that you plugged into everything that he's doing, because the same science that he just dropped today, that's what he does in his music. So you definitely need to make sure that stays a part of your life.
Word. Check me out. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate every single fan and follower that I have, because I know they real, because they rocking with me because I'm real. And I'm not flexing to get the followers. So anybody that follows me and rocks with me, I know are true, genuine, real fans and real people. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much.
We appreciate you too.
Yeah. All right. Peace.
Word.
That was such a dynamic and powerful interview. Wouldn't you say so?
Oh man, I say it was right on the button. So, right on time too.
Absolutely. I appreciated everything that he shared, and for being so open and honest with us, and letting the listeners know, how you can still kind of navigate around things. And yeah, man, it's just beautiful. I don't even have words for it.
Well, as we've been saying along the way, our show is a very particular show. If a person listens to our show on an ongoing basis, they're going to absorb music education in a way that they're not going to receive in any other place.
Yes, absolutely, and that's our primary goal.
It's just the staying positive and staying in the realm of having our listeners say, well, you guys need to tune in. You need to check in. You need to just feel into what these people are talking about. And because Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson, we're just focused on the education, the music appreciation and music education aspect. And each and every week you get it right here.
Man, I couldn't have said it better. That's so perfect. So, one of the developments since the last time we had our conversation was Jason Ma, who's the co-owner of Triller, had a conversation talking about how musicians need to think dually now. So even when things do return to perhaps a different kind of normal, when we start going to live events more and it's safer to be around larger groups, there's still going to be the aspect of having to do virtual concerts. And so that's something that you need to keep in mind, and how to be able to digitally keep in touch with fans and keep them engaged. And I just thought that was a really good point for him to bring up. And, no advertisement here, but that's one of the things that people use Triller for, that and TikTok. So it's a good way to kind of quickly engage with people and let them know what you're up to. There's other platforms to be able to do virtual concerts, live streaming. You can even do lives on social media, because we've seen how popular that's become. And matter of fact, as far as live streaming, it's become so popular that there were two music charts that released new ones for live streaming, and the top 100 live streams and the top 50 live streamers. So both of these charts kind of track mostly people who have quite a bit of traction already, but they recognize that without these people being able to do concerts the way that they could before, they still had to kind of recognize the shift that's happening right now in the industry. And so it's pretty cool. We've got that up on our pages if you want to check it out. Just follow us, Music Marvels Radio Show.
Yeah, because don't be the one that ends up finding out new information, and you're the last person to do it. When your buddies or your peers in the industry, they already know. Okay? Right. And a lot of times that's because they have been right here and checked in with our show.
Absolutely. Once again, couldn't have said it better. All right, we're going to get to some more beats. right, and we are back. Not sure how many people are aware, but Travis Scott is being sued by a gaming company called Control Freak. And, well, they have quite a big following online. And they were concerned that because during Travis Scott's Fortnite concert, the joysticks that he had his logo on it, but they claimed that it was basically their patented model. And so they were worried that their fans were thinking that they had something to do with the concert, and that's the grounds that they're suing him on. So we're not really sure how that's going to play out, but, you know, that's a unfortunate thing to think that the graphic designer put him in that situation, right?
Oh, yeah, you know, so it's like this, okay? At the end of the day, this seems fun to some. It might seem a hobby to others, but it still is a business. So when you're involved in a business, you're also involved with copyright infringement of all kinds, whether it's sound, whether it's painting, whether it's photos, whatever. When somebody creates something, and then they copyright it, and then you go and grab it in any form, whatever, guess what? That's against the law. So when D does that, then D suffers D consequences.
That's a great way to put it. And, you know, with the stellar career that he's been having lately and the way that he's been managing his brand, you see all these publications writing articles about him and all the branding deals that he's done. And there's no way you can do stuff like that and, you know, keep growing and keep shining without people watching. And so, yep, Control Freak is going to try to come for that McDonald's money, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. So, you know, we can't stress this enough. As a budding musician, artist, whether you're indie, whether you're professional or whatever, again, you can't grab somebody else's creation and use it for yourself. If that's in writing, that's called plagiarism. Okay, but if it's on the physical side or visual side, that can be called copyright infringement, or you know, along with music on the music side. So if somebody else is using something that they've created, stay away from grabbing it to use yourself or keep your people. And because we don't know who along the line did that, but somebody in his group must have done something, because it ended up with the boss, Mr. Travis, getting sued. We don't want that, and you don't want that either.
Absolutely, and it's also something to keep in mind when you're on Instagram and you post something and all of a sudden, hello, do you need logo, cartoon, graphic design? As soon as that pops up, as soon as you post it, you need to watch that too. So that way you don't end up in the same situation because of somebody that you don't know just popping in your comments like a bot, trying to get the money. So something to keep in mind.
Just another reason to keep it locked on this particular show, A Chick with Beats with Breezy Gipson Music Marvels, okay? And keep it locked right here. Tell your buddies, tell your friends, holler out the bus, however you want to do it, text or stream or email or whatever. But this is music education and music appreciation, and you want to get your degree right here.
Keep it locked. right, and it's about that time of the night, and we had such a great time rocking with you, and we can't wait to do it again next week.
Are you kidding me? Of course, this was just a real blast. One more time, I loved it, and I'm sure our listeners are like, hey, this is what's up. This is what's up.
That's right, so you make sure that you join us again next week. Same time, same place, right here on Grander Radio and Achickwitbeatz.com, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.